Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, doing an experiment, so I thought I would do a video to document it. I've got this Radio Shack 12-volt power supply. Input 120 volts AC, output 12 volts DC at 1 amp. And I've been using this for charging the batteries, of course, and it's just a 12-volt 1 amp power supply. So I've clipped the leads onto a magnetic lock-on going to the rail, and I've got this plugged in to the new lamp dimmer controller that I built yesterday. Watch this. So the 1998 diesel running on 12 volts DC out of that little tiny controller or power supply. Now I've got full control over the output, as you see, and that's more than enough power to run this locomotive. As you see, this works absolutely perfectly. So 12 volts DC at 1 amp, and there's more than enough power to run this locomotive. No doubt about that at all. And there's plenty of power. I mean, this thing will derail if I run it full throttle. As you see, that's running splendidly on 12 volts DC at 1 amp. And I'm using this to control the output, of course. Good, smooth operation. We should be able to make this thing crawl on DC. As you see, look at that. It's so smooth and so quiet running on DC. So actually, this is the way to run model trains, is on DC, not AC. They run so much smoother, quieter, better. Anyway, I've got a new DC power supply coming. It'll be here day after tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some experiments with that as well. But you can see how well this is running on DC. So, a little DC 1 amp power supply. I've been using this for charging the batteries. I actually use this for running the electric train whistle. That's just sitting under the bench, and use it for charging the batteries, running the train whistle. Of course, it's just constant output. So by plugging it into the lamp dimmer, of course, you have full control by controlling the input. Now, this isn't a regulated power supply. It's just a power supply. So it's basically just a transformer in a box. A couple of diodes, a couple of capacitors. You can't regulate the input or change the input of a regulated power supply. It won't work. Anyway, a power supply as simple as this works actually quite well, as you see. You can see how smooth and slow this is running, and you can really turn this thing down. And I'm doing this all with this lamp dimmer that I built yesterday, or light dimmer. Anyway, you can crank this thing up. That's 1 amp at 12 volts, and there's more than enough power here. As you see, more than enough power. At full throttle, it will very likely derail. I don't want this to go tumbling off the table, so. But as you see, it's more than fast enough, plus you have full speed control. And directional control. So this works really, really well. Anyway, I just want to do a video to document it. This little power supply is taking the place of these transformers. That's actually quite incredible. So that new power supply that's coming will be here Wednesday. I'm going to be testing that. And I might simply switch over to running the outlet around the layout on DC. The results are just exponentially better than running on AC. It's quieter, smoother. You have much better control, as you see. You know, this is running just absolutely perfectly. No doubt about that. Crank it up a bit, and doing it all from this dimmer that I built. So running on 12 volts DC at 1 amp with no problems at all. So anyway, just wanted to do a quick video. The power supply, these things are, well, when you find them, I got this one at a thrift store, if I remember right. Really, really cheap. Anyway, you could do exactly the same thing with a 12 volt battery charger and this remote. It'll control anything. I mean, virtually anything. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video. It works 12 volts DC at 1 amp. Like I said, I've got a new controller coming. That's going to be here Wednesday from Amazon. It's 12 volts DC at 5 amps. And has a knob on the front for changing the output. So it's going to be interesting to see how it runs these trains. Anyway, I'll do a video on that. But just a quick video on that dimmer we built yesterday, and a 12 volt 1 amp power supply. Gives you full control of your layout. These things run splendidly on DC, no doubt. Anyway, I just want to do a quick video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.